good turnout for the final breakfast of the year. Today there are almost 1,100 participants. So it's a really nice coincidence that it happens to be you that's our special guest today. That really worked out well. No, they're all here to see you. Prime Minister, I want to thank you for accepting our invitation to breakfast today. And actually, we've had a few breakfast meetings over the years, but never with this many people. Second, I want to thank you for the terrific working relationship that we have established together. It goes back to even before you were elected as leader of your party and as Prime Minister. Je vous remercie pour la relation de collaboration que nous avons pu établir. We've had a number of great meetings and conversations. You've asked a lot of thoughtful and important questions about the challenges that we face in Ottawa and how we can work together to solve them. You've demonstrated a commitment to our city by running in a local riding with Ian. And today, I know you have some exciting news to share on a couple of important files that we've been working on together, and I'm very, very excited about that. I also want to say thank you to everyone who is here today. I look around the room and I see so many terrific leaders from our community, so many great business owners and executives, the wonderful people who lead our community organizations, the leaders of our economic development partners. Nous sommes entourés de plusieurs leaders communautaires et d'affaires, et je vous remercie pour tout ce que vous faites pour améliorer notre ville. I'm also really pleased to be joined by our local MPs and MPPs, members of City Council. There's so many, I'm not going to list them all, but I am proud to say that we are all working together to serve our community at this really critical time. I've never seen collaboration like this before, and I'm grateful to all of you. Et je veux aussi reconnaître mon ami Maud Marquis-Bissonnette, la mairesse de Gatineau. Nous avons une excellente collaboration. All of us in this room today want the same thing. We want what's best for Ottawa and for the National Capital Region. We want to make life more affordable, build better public transit, strengthen our local economy, build more affordable homes, and improve public safety. It's no secret that we face a lot of challenges right now. This has been a year of unprecedented change, and there are big issues for us to tackle. But I gotta say, I'm very excited about the future. We have so much going for us in Ottawa. And now is the time for us to capitalize. It is our time, it is Ottawa's time. Je suis excité pour l'avenir de notre ville, étant donné toutes les opportunités qui se présentent à nous. This Wednesday, we will have our final vote on the 2026 City of Ottawa budget. This will be a balanced and responsible budget that protects affordability for residents while investing in what matters most. For the past 3 years, we've had the lowest tax increases of any major city in Canada. That is critically important for homeowners, for renters, and for small business owners. In addition to keeping taxes low, we are investing significantly and disproportionately in some key priorities for our residents. We're boosting the transit budget by almost $100 million in 2026. For the second year in a row, we're increasing the transit levy by 8% to improve service, including launching the eastern extension of light rail, which will bring the LRT to Orleans. We're significantly increasing our budget for emergency services. Just last week, I presented our Public Safety Action Plan, which includes a number of different measures to make Ottawa safer for everyone. We're hiring dozens more police officers and paramedics. We've reduced the number of level 0 events where there is no ambulance available in Ottawa by almost 80%. We're launching a pilot project to invest $1 million over the next 2 years in private security for the Byron market. And we're expanding Anchor, the new mental health response unit, to a new neighborhood after a very successful pilot project in Centertown. We're also investing record amounts in affordable housing. Last term of council, the city put $45 million towards affordable housing. This term, we're investing $105 million, an increase of 133%. Nous investissons des montants records dans le logement abordable. This fall, we also launched our Housing Action Plan with 53 recommendations to streamline and shorten approvals, cut and defer fees, and make it easier and cheaper to build homes in Ottawa. I know there are representatives of the building community here in Ottawa who collaborated with us on that. We're very grateful for your support and hard work. We want to be the most housing-friendly city in Canada. We want to say yes to housing. Nous voulons dire oui au logement. We're investing in food security. We're increasing our commitment to the agencies that support the most vulnerable. And as you know, a few weeks ago, I made a big commitment. We will end youth homelessness in Ottawa by 2030. We're also working hard to grow and diversify our local economy. In October, we welcomed close to 300 leaders from the defense sector to City Hall for the launch of our plan to position Ottawa-Gatineau as Canada's defense innovation hub. In a time of global uncertainty, Prime Minister Carney and Defense Minister David McGuinty have set out a clear and ambitious path to strengthen Canada's sovereignty and renew our defense capabilities. That vision includes a historic investment in Canada's defense. And I believe that Ottawa-Gatineau is uniquely positioned to support and to lead the way in achieving the federal government's goals. Et je sais que la mairesse Marquis-Bissonnette partage exactement le même sentiment. And I'm very excited about another related opportunity. You may have heard there's been a little bit of buzz recently about the new Defense Security and Resilience Bank, or DSRB. It's a global effort to fund responsible defense spending among trusted allies. Canada has a good chance of becoming the future home of the bank's headquarters. Maud and I have been meeting regularly recently, and we agree that Ottawa-Gatineau is the ideal location for this bank. Our location gives us a key advantage to be both Canada's defense innovation hub and the home of the new bank. The federal government, including the Department of National Defence and the Canadian Armed Forces, is right here. We bridge the border between Canada's two largest provinces, and we have a highly educated population capable of working in French, in English, or in both. Nous avons une main-d'œuvre qualifiée et capable de travailler en français, en anglais, ou dans les deux langues. We're already home to many of Canada's most important defense and security institutions, and more than 300 companies working in defense, security, aerospace, and related technologies. We have Canada's largest technology park and the highest concentration of tech talent in North America. Et nos collèges et universités jouent un rôle essentiel dans cet effort. We are home to more than 130 embassies and foreign missions, representing potential partners and customers. That's an incredible foundation to build on. That combination of people, research, innovation, and purpose makes Ottawa-Gatineau unlike any other region in the country. This is an opportunity for Ottawa-Gatineau to lead and help guide our efforts to seize this historic opportunity. We're striking a task force of defense industry experts in the coming weeks. And I'm proud to announce today that General Rick Hillier, who served as Canada's Chief of the Defense Staff, has accepted to serve as the honorary chair of this task force. So, as we turn the page on 2025 and look ahead to 2026, I'm very excited. As I said before, we face a lot of challenges. This is a period of uncertainty and change. But I'm very excited at the progress we've been making. We are moving Ottawa forward. Le progrès que nous faisons à tous les jours est encourageant. And I'm ready to work with all of you here today, to seize the opportunities we have in front of us, to strengthen our local economy, to build more homes, to make life more affordable, and to support the most vulnerable. I'm a relentless optimist, and I believe for Ottawa, the best is yet to come. I think our special guest today is going to give us even more reasons to be excited and optimistic. So please join me in giving a big welcome to the Prime Minister of Canada and the Member of Parliament for Nadia.
Yes, I am a member of Parliament for Nadia. I have other responsibilities, but it starts as a member for Nadia and a proud resident of Ottawa throughout much of my life. My commitment and connection to this city, to this region, they run deep. And it's a dedication shared by everyone in this room and the organizations that you represent. As many of us know, the name Ottawa comes from the Algonquin word "adawe," to trade. And trade is fundamentally about partnership. Just at the level of sponsors up there, that gives you a sense of the partnership that's operating here. Now, as the Mayor mentioned, that's how he and I have been working together. We started with breakfast. We had one a few months ago at John's Diner, Wellington West. My first morning as Prime Minister designate. And it's nice to see how quickly, when you have a good partnership, breakfast can grow. Ottawa succeeds when our governments at all levels, our community organizations, our businesses, our workers, pull in the same direction. And as the Mayor just mentioned, we need to draw on that spirit of partnership more than ever. This is a time when the global economy is being transformed. And many of our country's former strengths have become our vulnerabilities. We estimate that U.S. tariffs and the uncertainty that they're causing could wipe $50 billion from Canada's economy. That's the equivalent of $1,300 for every Canadian. Nous sommes à un point de rupture, ce qui veut dire que nous devons transformer radicalement nos stratégies économiques sans attendre. The fact is, the United States has changed, and that's their right. We must respond, and that's our imperative. And the budget that came out last month, Budget 2025, the federal budget, I should say, because you have your vote, and Maud, c'est bien de passer pour le budget. So she's ahead. Our budget isn't passed yet, so if you have an opinion, reinforce that. Because there's so much good in this budget, and I'm about to highlight a few of the things. It is our strategy for Canada to meet this moment. Our strategy for Canada to emerge even stronger. And it builds Canada strong by focusing on what we can control. That's building at home to protect and empower Canadians. It's boosting our productivity to drive lasting prosperity. It is transforming how government works and works for you. And it's very much about diversifying our trade partners to create more opportunity and greater independence. Overall, the budget's designed to unleash $1 trillion in total investment in Canada over the next 5 years. That alone will increase our GDP by over $3,500, or $3,500 for every Canadian worker, more than twice what U.S. tariffs are taking away. Ce matin, j'aimerais vous expliquer ce que notre mission à Ottawa. Et pour ce faire, je vais aborder 3 sujets. D'abord, pendant que nous réalisons de grands projets d'intérêt national, nous concluons de nouvelles ententes localement pour bâtir plus et plus vite. Ensuite, pendant que nous protégeons nos communautés, nous finançons des programmes locaux de prévention. Et enfin, pendant que nous créerons des emplois bien payés et de nouvelles industries à travers le pays, nous investissons dans la région de la capitale nationale, surtout dans le secteur de la défense et de la technologie. Now, it's early days, but we're already realizing some encouraging results. In the past 3 months, the Canadian economy has created a total of 181,000 jobs. The national unemployment rate has fallen from 7.1% to 6.5%, and crucially, average wages for Canadians have grown faster than inflation every month of this year. That's encouraging, but the headwinds are strong, and we are just getting started. So let me begin with our core mission, which is building. Canada's new government is catalyzing generational investments to build our country and our city. We're doing that partly through the tax system. We're expanding investment tax credits for clean energy investment, including, after that speech, Bryce, including for public utilities. Instant payback. We're introducing a new productivity super deduction, which strengthens Canada's position as the most tax competitive country in the G7 for new business investment. These measures reduce our marginal effective tax rate on investment to 13%. That is 4.5 percentage points lower than the United States. It is half the G7 average. We've already identified over $115 billion of investments in major projects across LNG, nuclear, highway power, critical minerals. And we're creating new trade and energy corridors to increase Canada's economic strength, boost our independence, and drive sustainable prosperity. Nous proposons de nouvelles stratégies, notamment dans le secteur des minéraux critiques, des trains à grande vitesse, de l'énergie propre et de la souveraineté des données, afin de bâtir une économie plus connectée, durable et collective. Our new defense industrial strategy will leverage the $80 billion increase in defense spending over the next 5 years to grow Canadian AI, Canadian cyber, Canadian space, quantum, and other dual-use technologies. On top of that, just last week, we concluded negotiations to join the EU's SAFE initiative, which will unlock access for Canadian suppliers to the $200 billion EU defense strategy. Thank you, Minister McGinty. I know when I say McGinty, this is never down. Unlocking that major opportunity. This transformation, see, we could just have partnerships amongst the McGintys. The transformation of Canada's defense capabilities, as the Mayor said, as both mayors have identified, is a major opportunity for the region. The National Capital Region is already home to 330 defense companies, 10,000 highly skilled employees, 4 of NATO's Diana test centers. The city's new Defense Innovation Hub strategy will help position Ottawa to become a global defense hub. And the federal government, including through our new Defense Investment Agency, led by Doug Guzman, who's here this morning, will fully support these ambitions, identifying the key sectors that maximize job creation and investment, including very much in dual-use technologies. Now, going to give an example which shows how far this can go, how far this can stretch. Here in Ottawa, we're supporting, and Jenna Sutton has helped lead this, we're supporting the Canadian Photonics Fabrication Center. It's Canada's only end-to-end pure-play compound semiconductor wafer manufacturing facility. We're supporting it through complementary investment in AI and compute. And we're exploring the potential to scale the Photonics Center's operations, including by attracting in private capital. As we build big, we'll also build local. Hospitals, public transit, recreational facilities, and arts centers. Created a new $51 billion Build Community Strong Fund. And our first projects include, in Orleans, the Bob Macquarie Recreation Complex. And thank you, Mayor France, for leading. But affordable housing is on top of everyone's list. And through Build Canada Homes, we're supercharging housing construction using new factory technologies, intended to cut building time by 50%, reduce costs by 20%, lower emissions by further 20%. Build Canada Homes has already announced its first 4 developments across the country, representing over 2,300 new affordable homes. But this morning, the Mayor and I are building on this momentum, and we're pleased to announce an ambitious new partnership between the City of Ottawa and Build Canada Homes. This partnership will accelerate the construction of up to 3,000 additional affordable homes in Ottawa through a joint investment of $400 million. Under this agreement, the city will reduce or waive development charges, permit fees, and property taxes on priority projects for 2,000 new units. And Build Canada Homes will deploy financing to help unlock an additional 1,000 in the city's portfolio. We said we'll build fast. Shovels will be in the ground next year. Ottawa et Maisons Canada vont trouver d'autres terrains publics pour démarrer rapidement de nouveaux chantiers de construction résidentielle. Nous mobilisons aussi le portefeuille fédéral. Au cours de la nouvelle année, le gouvernement fédéral va transformer l'immeuble Jackson à la Société immobilière du Canada. Nous pourrons ainsi utiliser cet espace vacant au centre-ville pour y aménager de nouveaux logements abordables. Tous les projets menés dans le cadre de ce partenariat vont respecter une nouvelle norme. Il s'agira de bâtir canadien, avec les travailleurs canadiens et aux moyens d'acier et de bois d'œuvre canadiens. By fast-tracking approvals, streamlining permitting and developing, building faster on federal and municipal lands, attracting private capital, and building Canadian, this partnership between the city and Build Canada Homes is a model for how we intend to build across this country. Now, as we build more of what we need, we also must protect what we have by keeping Canadians safe. That's why, as soon as Parliament reopened in the spring, our new government introduced the strongest border security legislation in Canadian history, cracking down on gun trafficking and illegal drugs like fentanyl. That's why we're in the process of strengthening the bail regime and sentencing laws to keep violent criminals and repeat offenders off our streets. And it's why we're enacting tougher laws against hate crimes, gun violence, home invasions, gang violence, and intimate partner violence. To address the root causes of crime, we're expanding mental health supports, access to deeply affordable housing, and community programs to prevent substance abuse and gender-based violence. For example, I can announce today that to reinforce the capacity here in federal government is providing $1.2 million to the City of Ottawa and the Canadian Centre on Substance Abuse and Addiction to better respond to the toxic drug crisis in our city. This funding will improve services, provide recreational programs, and modernize data systems across health, housing, policing, and social supports. Mes chers amis, quand je rencontre des gens à travers le monde, il est toujours clair que le Canada a ce que le monde veut et les valeurs auxquelles les autres aspirent. Par exemple, le Canada est un pays fièrement bilingue. Nous intensifions nos partenariats mondiaux et, ce faisant, la langue française demeure au cœur de notre identité et de notre leadership à l'étranger. Et aujourd'hui, j'ai le plaisir d'annoncer que le Canada présentera sa candidature pour accueillir le sommet de la francophonie de 2022. C'est une candidature qui renforcera les liens avec 90 pays et mettra en valeur l'identité francophone du Canada, notamment les cultures québécoises, franco-ontariennes et acadiennes. Et nous voulons accueillir le sommet ici, dans la région de la capitale nationale. Le sommet de la francophonie permettra au Canada d'approfondir les échanges commerciaux et culturels au sein du réseau de pays francophones. Le coordonnateur du groupe des ambassadeurs, son Excellence Apollinaire Aya, ambassadeur du Congo, monsieur, et mon représentant personnel pour la francophonie, Sébastien Carrière. Monsieur l'ambassadeur, nous comptons sur votre appui pour faire de ce sommet. Tout le monde vous connaît maintenant. Nous comptons sur votre appui pour faire de ce sommet un vrai succès de collaboration là-dessus. Et je tiens à remercier le ministre Caroline Mulroney, le gouvernement de l'Ontario et tout particulièrement la secrétaire parlementaire de la ministre des Affaires étrangères, Mona Fortier, pour avoir fait progresser So to conclude before our discussion, the Ottawa is defined by partnership across business, government, academia, labor, community organizations. And today's announcement on housing, on public safety, and today's launch of our bid to host the francophonie reflect our shared determination to build together. With national strategies catalyzing massive local opportunities in housing, defense, technology, and energy. With the city, the province, and the country pulling in the same direction. With unprecedented force and determination. Whatever happens beyond our borders, it's our country. We are taking back control of our future to build, yes, Nepean strong, to build Manitou strong, bâtir Vanier fort, build Ottawa strong, bâtir Gatineau fort, to build Canada strong. Merci beaucoup.
be a lot to talk about. Merci pour ces annonces. But before we get into the news of the day, I just wanted to, I always like with my guests to talk a little bit about the personal side of things. And this has been an incredibly eventful year for you. If you think about a year ago, you were a private citizen.
Somebody.
Yeah, just a really successful private citizen. Lots happened in the last year. What's the experience been like for you, and what made you decide, after thinking about it for some time, obviously, and having been well positioned to take this on for some time, what made you decide to move into public service and move into public life?
Well, I guess two things. At this time last year, literally I was, and you'll be pleased to know this is not going to be published, I'm not inflicting this on anyone. I was writing a book called The Hinge, about this being a hinge moment in history, because I felt a series of events were coming together, and this was an important time for the city, for the country, really to act. There's a big, and act, writing a book, with all due respect, it's not action, it's a form of action, but it's not really action. And I got to the point where I realized that if I wanted to act and I wanted to influence some of these big decisions that needed to be taken, I needed to run. Felt like a very narrow path to be able to get to the other side, because it's good to run, but as you know, as the mayor knows, it's better to win. In order to winning is always better. And then moving on. So part of it was the times. It was very much the times, and the feeling that there were big challenges coming, and of course, with those challenges come opportunities. Now, in terms of what it's been like, c'est une expérience sans relâche. C'est tout le temps, il y a des enjeux, des défis, mais des grandes opportunités. Et j'ai une équipe extraordinaire. Et la scène de l'équipe est ici aujourd'hui, ça c'est clair. We have an amazing team. It's driving all the time. But it's an enormous privilege, and I think we're getting the momentum. And of course, momentum breeds momentum, and the partnerships that were up on the screen before, the announcements we're making today, are going to lead to more partnerships, more announcements, more activity, greater strength, and this is what's so exciting about the situation. So the hinge is shifting, if I can go back to my analogy, in the right direction for our country.
And I do want to say thank you to the wonderful NCR caucus, with whom I work very closely, and very grateful for everything we do. But again, I want to say how grateful I am for the fact that you've made yourself available to me, and that we've developed this very strong working relationship, which has led to the announcements today. And just before we talk about those, we were just in Washington on Friday for the draw for the FIFA World Cup, which must have been a fascinating experience. What was that whole experience like? It's fun being in Washington.
Always fun, yeah. I don't think I'm ever going to forget that experience. It's the first time I haven't danced to YMCA. There you go. Look, huge. This is a fantastic. This will be an extraordinary event for our country, for the world. We've got a great group. We're welcoming back last year's hosts, or last World Cup hosts, with Qatar. We've got Swiss, which is a very good side, with Xhaka and a host of other very top players. We get the winner of one of the European playoffs, potentially Italy, or if not Italy, someone better than Italy. So it's going to be a spectacle. Well, I mean, by definition, right? That's
Is the Italian
sorry. This is not like an overall judgment, but
if
we
we
roll
get,
it.
yeah, if
Roll it
it
back.
beats a team that beats him,
A team that beats it, which
which therefore for women is,
Yeah.
there you go, in soccer.
Yeah, it's soccer, all this thing called North America. Anyways, you just get a sense. One of the things you had from that experience is the scale of what we're welcoming to the country. Up to 1 billion people watch that drop. Wow, that was. Those are 3 hours they're never going to get back. But that's the level of excitement in and around it, and the country is going to show exceptionally well. I'm very confident of it. To bring it back here, of course, we're looking to host something that we in the Francophone need, which will bring a different aspects, but also show the region and the country to a great event.
Absolutely, and we'll talk more about that in a moment. I wanted to touch on our local economy, and as you said, you're in the process of passing your 2025 budget. I'll point out that we're working on our 2026 budget already. So just saying, as is normal. It's a challenging time, and you've understandably been looking at all the expenses in the budget, and you've been making changes. And I know there is talk of federal job reductions, but I still see lots of room for opportunity. We talked about the defense sector. We talked about other things that are happening. So can you just talk about those plans? Because I know that when we talk about that kind of thing, it makes everybody nervous. It creates anxiety. But how do we move through this time so that there is the least impact possible on the local economy? And in fact, we're repositioning the public service for a brighter future, and we are repositioning the local economy for a brighter future.
I think you framed the issue exactly the right way. This is about a transformation of the public service, transformation for more interesting, more creative, higher impact jobs. There's a couple of elements to that. The first is the context in terms of just the scale of the public service. In effect, the public service has grown by over 40%, the federal public service 40% in the last decade. Overall federal spending was growing at 8% year after year after year. This is as many business people in this place. That's tough to sustain. And in fact, it can't be sustained. So there is an adjustment coming to the workforce. A lot of that will come through natural attrition, retirement, early retirement. There will be some other adjustments. At the same time, there will be changes in the way the public service is working. Much greater use of IT and artificial intelligence tools, strip out the less interesting components of the jobs. By the way, I was a public service for a servant for a number of years, and I can tell you there are less interesting parts of those jobs that can be made much more efficient. That we're going to do that. There is an element as well, and I know this is understandably a topic of some focus, of greater time in the office or return to office. I just want to be clear about that process. One is that we will be engaging with the public sector unions on the modalities of that, the appropriate levels of that. We will come to a sharper view on it over the course of the next several weeks. And there will likely be different levels of return depending on seniority, depending on role, and obviously depending on capacity. This is about making, I'm a huge fan of the public service. We need the public service at this critical time. And we need public servants to have all the tools, including offices and workspaces that make their jobs as interesting and as impactful as possible.
And let's talk about the related opportunity to diversify and grow our local economy. We touched on it in the defense space. Our member of Parliament for Ottawa South, David McGinty, is your defense minister. I see enormous potential here for Ottawa Capital. Can you tell us how we can capitalize on this historic spending by your government?
Yeah, well, I think the first thing is to put all of this into context. I mean, the big number is $80 billion between now and incremental defense spending. Another way to look at this, and without going too much into the details, is that the balance of defense spending, there is some pure defense spending. We need to pay our people properly. We started that with the adjustments a few months ago, and we're going to continue to pay the women and men who are on the front line protecting us properly. We have basic deficiencies in material that we need to make up, and we're ready to make up for those. There are some big defense systems that are being purchased, everything from submarines to fighter planes, and that is a component of it. But as well, a big element of the defense spending increase, about a third of it, is explicitly dual-use defense spending. So we need better cyber capabilities. We need deployment of AI. Quantum actually will be fundamental to defense. A huge range of spend on resilience. All of those elements, there's expertise literally in this room, certainly in this region, that we can build up. And we will have a predictability of that spend, which is going to help our businesses grow. We also, the way we're organizing is for larger ticket defense initiatives. We're using the new Defense Investment Agency, again, to provide that predictability and that accent on spending in Canada to develop Canadian industry. So a part of this will be openness on our side in terms of priority, collaboration wherever possible, ideas that are incoming. I could go on and on. I'll try to not do it, but I'll give you one example, which is we all know, anyone who's sentient about defense knows about the changes that are happening because of drone warfare and the integration between drone warfare, AI, and systems. We are partnering with the leaders in that around the world, and we're using those partnerships to have advanced manufacturing here in Canada, potentially in this region as well, is a very likely development. And so the scale of what we're doing with the Europeans, what we're doing in Ukraine, impacts what we can do right here at home. And we're very alert, I'm looking at David right now, we're very alert to both the need to, we've got, I am now going on and on, but this is an important point. We have frontline troops in Latvia. We have 2,500 women and men who are literally on the front line of this. They need cutting-edge weaponry and materials, and we can be part of what supplies that, and so it's all being integrated, and it is a great opportunity for Ottawa.
It's a huge opportunity. Alors, parlons du sommet de la francophonie. Comme tout, je tiens à remercier Mona pour son leadership et aussi Caroline Mulroney, la province d'Ontario, très bonne partenaire pour cette initiative. Et les leaders de la communauté francophone ici à Ottawa qui ont soutenu cette initiative. Alors, qu'est-ce que vous souhaitez accomplir comme hôte de ce sommet des pays francophones?
Il y a quelques objectifs. On commence avec, ce sera l'occasion de faire de mettre l'accent sur la réalité francophone ici au Canada et surtout dans notre pays. Nous vivons dans les deux langues officielles. Nous travaillons dans les deux langues officielles. Et c'est pas absolument unique, mais c'est spécial par rapport à la reste du monde. Okay, on commence avec la réalité d'ici. Deuxièmement, oui, il y aura des occasions commerciales et culturelles qu'une semaine va créer des occasions comme ça. Et on va utiliser, comme le gouvernement fédéral, nous nous avons utilisé le sommet comme un moment pour, d'ici à 2028, on va renforcer, par exemple, notre stratégie économique par rapport à l'Afrique et l'Afrique francophone, surtout l'Afrique francophone, afin d'avoir des résultats au sommet. Alors, nous sommes très excités. Il faut gagner, monsieur l'ambassadeur. Il faut gagner le prix, mais il y a plusieurs trajets d'ici au sommet, et ce sera fun. Point final, ce sera fun pendant la période du sommet.
Oui. Et merci pour votre leadership, merci pour votre soutien sur cette initiative. Okay, let's talk about building more homes. This is a great partnership that we're announcing today. In a few minutes, we're going to go over there and do a little signing, which is great. You have that? Good. This is an objective we share, obviously. We all want to build more homes. We all want to build more affordable homes. We want to build them faster. We're working hard at the City of Ottawa to do that. Can you just sort of characterize what this represents? I know Anna, the wonderful Anna Bailao is here, the CEO of Build Canada Homes. And we have an opportunity in Ottawa to lead the way with this partnership.
So I just want to underscore what we're trying to do on the federal side, and really, again, salute you, Mayor, for the partnership we're about to sign. Because as I said up there, it's exactly the approach we're trying to take. And let's start with what I think everyone in this room would acknowledge is that there is a shortage of affordable housing in Ottawa. There's a shortage of affordable housing in virtually every community in this country. In effect, very little has been built for the last 30 years of affordable housing, certainly affordable housing. That has to change. It's not going to change overnight, but we're going to move on this fast. First thing, the federal government, and so we're taking an approach through Build Canada Homes that has several aspects. First, where should government play a role? Well, the first place you play a role is in deeply, deeply affordable housing, so-called transition housing. So people are moving out of homelessness into what sometimes is called social housing. That is not a commercial operation. You need to be as effective as possible building it, but that's a core role. We will build that. Okay? Then we move into affordable housing in ways we can work with partners so that there is affordable housing for the vast majority. I mean, depending on your metrics, somewhere between 40 and 45% of the population needs to fall into that category. And we make it affordable by working with partners such as the City of Ottawa to help get development charges and other fees down. We have various mechanisms that we can help with that, but it also takes tough decisions by those partners. We do that through financing. We have $13 billion as the first tranche of the financing. First tranche, be a lot more as this gets going, of financing. So private developers are building out. What we're also looking to do is make federal lands available. We have huge scope of federal lands in what's called the Canada lands. The Jackson building is going to be one example. I might reference in my remarks. But we are going through all of our federal lands and looking for opportunities to make those lands available for affordable housing. And then a final point is we're looking to do this on a scale that catalyzes a new industry in Canada. Factory-built housing, there's many ways to do this. There's lots of expertise across the country. And so we want to have visibility for those entrepreneurs of scale projects so that they can scale up and we get the benefits of economies of scale. And of course, we want to see this using Canadian lumber, Canadian steel, Canadian aluminum, Canadian products as appropriate. And so all of this looking to happen at the same time. Last point I'll just say, we're just getting started. We've got 2,300 units identified in the first few exciting time for this. It's an enormous challenge because we haven't had the partnerships in recent decades. Now we have the partnerships, now we have the energy, we certainly have the need, and we're going to meet it.
We'll be signing in a second. Very excited to sign this. That's good. I am too. We're very, very thrilled to work with you on this. And again, as I've said many times, we want Ottawa to be the most housing-friendly city in Canada. We want to lead the way. We want to say yes to housing. So we will be your faithful partner through this whole process. And thank you again for your leadership on this. I wanted to cover a couple quick things before we wrap up and sign this agreement. Let's talk about public safety, because I know that it's a worry for a lot of people. We're seeing more and more toxic drug use. We're seeing homelessness rising. We're seeing mental health issues continue to rise. You're helping us with an investment today of $1.2 million. We're putting more resources into this all the time, as I announced last week. How can we keep working together to tackle some of the challenges, particularly in Centertown and the Byron Market?
Yeah, well, there's a whole continuum of things. It starts going back to the root causes of some of these challenges. So the announcements today, the work on addiction, the work on homelessness, literally building transition housing and beyond, all of that is part of the solution. And I'm very pleased that we're advancing that with the announcements today. The second thing is there are issues that we recognize and are acting on in terms of some of the conditions around bail and some of the laws that we have in this country. We've had too many repeat offenders being released too quickly, and the presumptions around release have been skewed the wrong way. We're working, that is working its way through Parliament now, and we are very keen. The House Leader is staring at the House Leader. He's staring at me, actually. We're very blessed to have Steve McKinnon, a National Capital Region MP, who is our House Leader and our Minister of Transport, and bringing the energy on many areas, but particularly around this fall. It's been abundant, and it's been addressing these issues around crime. Real focus. Toughening bail laws, toughening laws and penalties for gun violence, gang violence, home invasion. These are huge issues in the country. I have to be careful what I say. It's not yet tabled in Parliament, but we can talk broadly about intimate. Might cut out. I'll say control that to be careful. Issues around intimate partner violence shortly we'll be moving on that. And then what we need to do, and it goes back to this theme of partnership, is as we tighten these rules, is working with the provinces, working with local police forces, working with prosecutors, and ensuring that they can be put into action. We just had a summit in Surrey, BC. We've got another one coming up in the GTA just before the holidays. We'll have another one in the new year. And as appropriate, it may be something that we do here to make sure that we're all moving forward and that we have the resources that are necessary to tackle these issues so that all of our communities are safe.
As I said earlier, I'm an optimist, and despite all the challenges we face, and despite some of the unique pressures and uncertainties that we're facing as a country and as a city right now, I feel like there's a huge opportunity right now, and I just wondered if you could share your outlook on 2026 and beyond, and what this moment represents for Canada and for Ottawa.
I think my faith in the country, the city and the country, which was already very strong, was taken to a new level over the course of last year. Canadians came together in the face of the challenges directly from the United States, challenges realizing, myself included, is there are just such a wide range of things that we can do. We can build our homes. We can build our defense industry. We can capitalize on photonics, on AI, beyond. When we go, I will tell you, when I go, or the Minister of International Trade, or Minister of Finance goes and meets with any country in the world, with one exception, any government in the world, they want to do more business with Canada. They are desperate to do more business with Canada. Because we have much of what they want, and they respect us. They respect us because we respect the rule of law, we have the right values, we're good partners, and it's just an enormous amount of opportunity. So I'm hugely optimistic, and I'm optimistic because these opportunities are being created by people like the people in this room and across this great country.
I just want to say, Prime Minister, I want to thank you for three things. First, for accepting the invitation to do this event today. This has been fantastic. Great to Second, thank you for the announcements that you've made today, which are going to have a huge impact on our city. And thank you again for the terrific working relationship that we've established. And third, I just want to thank you for choosing to serve our country in this way at this time, and for everything that you have accomplished so far as Prime Minister and will in the future. Nobody knows better than me what it's like to give up a private life and throw yourself into this world. You've done that at a really challenging time for our country, and I'm grateful as a Canadian, as a resident of Ottawa, as the Mayor of Ottawa. I'm grateful for what you're doing, and I want to thank you for that.